Hello. What is
Hey,
going on?
we
Welcome
back.
back to what?
We back. Boy.
We back and we're all together and I'm so excited and I feel like it's been so fucking long since we've all done a podcast because of the mishap from last time. So, prior to our topic of today's video, let's just do a little update. So, we made y'all think that we were going to have our first guest on. You
Just
thought,
kidding.
but it wouldn't
April
be
So
Fools
did
in February.
April Fools in February, exactly. It wouldn't be our channel if we didn't have technical difficulties. So,
Almost
stay
every
tuned for
time.
that. We definitely are still gonna have Javon on as our first guest and in our first in-person podcast, but we just have to re-record it because we had some technical difficulties. So we'll be fine. We'll have our shit together before we try again next time. So
Maybe. Who knows?
soon. It's like I have no idea what you guys are talking about.
I'm like, I don't know if it's
the
the
girl
full moon or
say that?
what because I'm exhausted. Like, I haven't done anything and I'm just,
Well, get hype, bro. Get hype.
I bought a Red Bull, but I shouldn't drink it because 8 o'clock in the morning.
What did
So
you
I'm
do that
gonna
for?
need to sleep.
Okay, so just
Delete.
loosen up. Just loosen. Wake up. Wake up a little bit.
Just
Come on.
It's not happening.
Come on. Shake the tired out.
I'm trying.
Bring the spice. Let's go. Okay, so now you guys know we're gonna get our shit together at some point and we're gonna do all those things that we said that we were gonna do. For now, we're back here and we're doing this. And actually, I'm just really happy to be here because this is a topic that I've been wanting to do for a while. So
I feel like we haven't been in this setting in a really long time. Like, we haven't recorded like this in a really long
that's what
time.
I'm saying. Because last time we did one of these, it was just me and Shay. And then prior to that, it was me and Danielle and Shay, and then halfway through Danielle lost like so it's like
dude.
we've been having nothing but technical difficulties in this fucking channel ever since like the new year. So we really apologize to everybody that's been watching these and has been like not knowing like we haven't been as consistent as we've been promising that we would because for some reason technology is just against us right now.
Literally, it's just not on our side.
But
It's not here.
we're back on our grind. We're back on it and we're going to be doing it. And with my work schedule starting next week, it's going to be so much easier. I am just so hyped right now and I didn't even have an energy drink today. So let's go. Okay. First things first. Let's start
Breathe.
off. I'm just so excited. I'm genuinely like here right now. Just happy to be here right now.
Aw.
Even if you guys aren't, that's fine. I am. That's okay. One of us
I'm
can be
happy to be here.
all right, word
I'm
up.
just tired.
All right, well, I have enough energy apparently for the both of us, so we're fine.
Clearly.
um so today's topic is one of the most controversial topics out there. And I've been waiting to talk about this since we started this channel. We're going to talk about these guys right here. I know you guys can't see. Oh, yeah, you can. It's my little alien guy. We're going to talk about everything space.
You sound like that one kid that just loves space so much. Everything space.
I was that kid. I was like, let's go, aliens. I'm gonna be friends with the aliens when they come along here. So first off, straight up, do y'all believe in aliens?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I feel like everybody does. You're lying if you say you don't. Like, you're telling me that we're the only ones in this, like, whole thing called the universe? Come on, you're bullshitting me.
Yep.
Nope.
Y'all
Not
crazy if you don't believe that there's like other life out there.
These are literally just completely our opinions. And I found a couple like articles about these different topics that we're gonna talk about.
You can just like call them like delusions as you will. It's nothing. It's not like that serious.
Right. Like I'm not
Okay,
saying
so
like,
don't take it that serious.
right. I mean, I don't even care if they do because like I'm not saying that like I'm not telling anybody that they're wrong if they say that aliens aren't real and they firmly believe that. I'm not gonna say that they like are wrong. But then
No,
again,
because
like
I've seen an alien. They're real. I've seen an alien. I've seen one. I've seen one. And I will never forget it. I'm pretty sure I've mentioned it quite a few times on this podcast. But that one TikTok I saw that one time,
right.
I'm telling you, they're real. And that video can never, it's non-existent now.
Mm-hmm.
And
It
you
just disappeared one day. It was like it was in my camera roll because I saved it and sent it to like some people. And one day it was just gone. I didn't delete it. It was in my shit and it was gone.
you did talk about that. That was like the second or first or one of the
Yeah.
first podcasts that we did.
And it was years ago. Like I think it was when all like the Area 51 was like being hyped up. And I'm telling you, like I know like Photoshop and like now there's AI, but there probably was back then too. We just probably didn't know about it. But I'm telling you, it was real. It was real and it was a little freaky looking, but it was real. I'm telling you. Don't come
Trust
for
me.
me. I don't have the video anymore. No
It's
video
okay.
evidence. I
Ain't
just
nobody coming after you because if they don't believe it, then they don't have to watch this episode. That's fine.
Yeah.
So
It's
the
also,
first,
talking about all the alien people because they're still hiding from us.
I don't think
yeah,
they're hiding.
they in a way they are hiding, but I feel like they just they're not hiding. They are amongst us 100%. Like I mean, we just don't know.
I'm
We
telling
just
you,
don't
they're
know.
here and they probably like walk around us all the time. And they probably just look like humans to us. I'm saying, like, I don't know. I feel like they're already here and they're
Well,
just
brings up the debate of like where do humans actually come from? Like there is also that aspect of things in that part of science that people are still trying to figure out. Like, and not to be the whole like you said, not to bring up the whole religion thing. Like, yes, you can have that opinion as well, but like,
see,
raced along as if propelled by an extra force. Comets get an added kick thanks to the gazes of. Nope, that says the gases. Thanks to the gases they throw off.
bro, I feel like I'm in English class right now.
Which I'm trying to get to like the part where like it gets good.
Where it gets good.
I don't like this article.
So basically, we came with nothing.
That article pretty much was saying in like the preview that I read, it pretty much was saying that like they saw UFO type things. 5 most credible modern UFO sightings. Do you guys know when the first UFO sighting was?
like the 1960s,
No, ma'am.
probably earlier.
No, ma'am.
Earlier, indeed. Kenneth Arnold UFO sighting occurred June 24th. Care to take a guess at the year? It's before when you said, Danielle.
1968.
The 20s, like 1920s.
After that,
1940.
1947.
47. See, knew it.
It
I was there.
1968 just sounded nice.
It was actually me.
was actually me. When private pilot Kenneth Arnold claimed that he saw a string of 9 shiny, unidentified flying objects flying past Mount Rainier at speeds that Arnold estimated at a minimum of 1,200 miles per hour.
How did he estimate that in the
Well,
1940s?
he probably was like, I'm going like super fucking fast because airplanes go at least like 200 miles an hour. So he was probably like, damn, that bitch is going way faster than I am, about 1,200 miles per hour.
For sure.
No, off me.
This was the first post World War II sighting in the United States that nationwide news covered and is credited with being the first of the modern era of UFO sightings, including numerous reported sightings over the next 2 to 3 weeks. Arnold's description of the
Wait,
object.
he's still alive?
I have no idea, actually.
If he was like, he
If
had
he's
to,
that
He
if
was
he was
probably
a
born in
pilot,
the 20s, bro.
if he was a pilot,
in the 40s.
Right.
don't.
Then he's probably like 20 something years old.
Okay, but then
So he's gonna
seeing
be like
again
100.
after
Yeah,
the
he's
World
not.
War II.
What?
No, World War
Okay,
One.
if
Wait.
he was already flying in the 1940s, and then he then spotted something else after World War II, how old is this man?
He's gone, dude. He's got to be.
Hang on. Let me look this up. We've got to
He's
know. I think Kenneth Arnold, he would be over 100 years old if that's the
Yeah.
case. Kenneth Arnold died January 16th, 1984.
And
You guys
when
want to
was
guess? You
World
want to
War
guess
II?
what year he was born?
1918.
Close.
1919?
1922.
1915.
15.
3
Damn,
years 3 years after the Titanic.
he old.
Okay, but when was World War II?
Couldn't tell you that. What did I ask you? Oh, sorry, gonna take that off. Danielle, what did I ask you the other day?
Boston, dude. We're in Boston, and she's standing outside with other people too. And she goes, "Didn't it happen in Boston or New York?"
Technically, I asked where the Twin Towers were at first because I was like, damn, them buildings are high over there.
Okay, at least I know where it happened. Okay, it's not like we go
I
through like
had
a
a
whole
brain fart,
memorial
okay?
every year.
Look, I feel like I'm thinking so many thoughts at the same time that none of them want to compute.
Okay. World War II happened before he even started flying that plane.
Yeah.
So how did he see it again?
It
He would
said
have seen it
post no
first.
no no no. It said post World War II. This was the first post World War II sighting in the United States that
Oh, I thought he saw it again, and I thought,
no. So okay, so Arnold's description of the objects also led to the press to the press quickly.
there was press back then.
Yeah. Yeah, they were like extra, read all about it. Get your paper. The press quickly coining the terms flying saucer and flying discs as popular descriptive terms of UFOs. Can anybody tell me what UFO stands for?
Unified,
Unified.
unidentified flying object.
Look at you.
I did just say it earlier in the paragraph too.
You did?
I
I wasn't
did.
listening. No,
Um,
because I know that because everyone like will be like, "Oh my God, UFO! It's the zombies!" And it's like you realize a
That's
UFO
just
isn't like an alien cruiser, like a alien taxi cab. It's actually just an
identified.
unidentified flying object,
okay.
but it's most likely an alien. Just saying. Just saying.
Okay, so that was like forever ago. So of the more modern UFO sightings, I
Remember
have
the balloons?
what?
You don't remember the balloons flying around in people's yards?
Yeah,
Oh
but
yeah.
Like above?
But that's literally what
Don't
they
say that on here. They're gonna don't say
that's
that word.
what they
No,
said.
because I was watching, huh?
That wasn't me that said it. It was what they said.
I was watching some other YouTubers like podcasts and they're like in Australia, I think right now. And they were talking about like all the other like countries and they started talking about the R1 and then they were like, stop saying that. Stop saying that. Stop saying
Yeah.
that.
But the R1.
I know,
That's
right?
America. Let's be real. Okay. All right. So the number one on this top 5 most credible modern UFO sightings is Lights Above the New Jersey Turnpike, 2001.
Oh yeah.
Wait, I want to look this stuff up as we're talking about it. Because I was
This is on national or history. It takes a lot for motorists to stop alongside a highway to look towards the sky. But on July 14th, 2001, drivers on the New Jersey Turnpike did just that. For around 15 minutes, just after midnight, they marveled at the sight of a strange orange and yellow lights in the V formation over the Arthur Kill waterway. But I need my fucking glasses on. What am I doing?
You're blind. You have to accept it.
Now this is an alien car, not an unidentified flying object. That is an alien car.
New word that Shay can't say, unlocked.
For real.
Waterway between Staten Island, New York and Carteret New Jersey. Carteret, Carteret or Carteret, I don't know how you fucking pronounce it. I live in Maine. Police Department's Lieutenant Dan Lieutenant Daniel Tarrant. Lieutenant Dan. What? Oh, Lieutenant Dan was one of the patrollers, as well as other metro area residents from Throgs Neck, whatever.
Which, guess what?
Near the George Washington Bridge.
They cover that up by saying it was a space launch. Just turned out to be space. That's what it says. The strip lights that you're talking about.
There was also 2 of those little strip light thingies that happened. Because there was also one that happened back like last year in Vegas. Like something similar, not the same thing, but something similar. And it stayed hovered over like most of Vegas like for a while. And then they were like, oh no. Yeah, go ahead.
The traffic controllers initially denied that any airplanes, military jets, or space flights could have caused this mysterious lights, but a group known as the New York Strange Phenomena Investigators, NYSPI, claimed to receive FAA radar data that the UFO sightings from that night. So some people were saying that it wasn't any sort of military thing. Some people were saying that it was. As any UFO or any sort of alien talk, there's going to be the haters, there's going to be the believers, you know? And that's the thing, is anybody watching this can decide whether or not you're going to be a believer, or that you already do believe in it, or maybe you don't. Maybe don't.
I think genuinely, no matter which way you look at it, whether it's military, the government, space, fucking aliens, no matter what way you look at it, there's always going to be 2 sides, and there's, no matter what, they'll probably never tell us the real story, the real answer.
Oh, for sure. But there's also that aspect that you kind of want to like not know, you know?
Is our package shipped yet?
The shirts did, and my hoodie did, but the bigger one still says processing.
My manifesting will work for that, but not what I need it to work for.
No, literally, your manifesting will work, but like, because this still, like, this whole order said shipped, right? And then all of a sudden, like, I was like, okay, and then I get home, and there was like this big ass package on my thing, and I was like, well, it couldn't be the other one because it doesn't even say shipped yet. And then I go up and it said fresh level, and I was like, yes, but I wasn't even expecting it. Like, literally, my shop app still says that it like is shipped. It doesn't even say that it like came in, but I'm like, it's here.
Oh, annoying! Because why does my manifesting always work when it comes to like us, like you? Like, it always does. When I won that one time, where
well, no, because you manifested it.
You
manifested it, but those shirts, like, literally the next morning, the shirts said shipped,
and I said within 2 days. Actually, at first I said tonight, and then I said 2 days, and it worked. But when I manifested for myself,
you just have to keep at it.
So the second one is the USS Nimitz encounter in 2004. I remember vaguely, like, I don't remember at the time hearing about this, but I remember like talking about it like in school and shit. On November 14th, 2004, the USS Princeton, part of the USS Nimitz carrier strike group, noted an unknown craft on radar 100 miles off the coast of San Diego. For 2 weeks, the crew had been tracking objects that appeared at 80,000 feet and then plummeted to hover right over the the Pacific Ocean, like within seconds.
Yep.
Then two FA-18F fighter jets. Okay, I think I'm reading that right. From the aircraft carrier USS Nimitz arrived in the area. They first saw what appeared to be churning water. Ooh, they dig in. With a shadow of an oval shaped. The words are just like jumbling together. I'm certain I'm not reading these fucking right.
That's called dyslexia. And
I'm not dyslexic.
no.
With a shadow of an oval shape underneath the surface. Then, in a few minutes, a white tic tac shaped object appeared above the water. It had no visible markings to indicate an engine, wings, or windows, and infrared monitors didn't reveal any exhaust. Black Aces Commander David Fravor and Lieutenant Commander Jim Slate of Strike Fighter Squadron 41 attempted to intercept the craft, but it accelerated away, reappearing on a radar 60 miles away within seconds. It moved 3 times the speed of sound and more than twice the speed of the fighter jets.
Sheesh.
That is
It was going
crazy.
Explain that.
Zooming.
I know, like, how else do you explain shit like that? Like, what?
I mean, I think people just want to think that they're not out there because they think that it's like, I think everybody's like, well, what's going to happen? Are they going to be dangerous towards us? Are they going to want things that we have? Okay, first of all, I think human
Have they
beings
been around
were
since the 1940s?
Before.
well before that. Because there's also like all of the Egyptian stuff. Like you see all the hieroglyphics and everything. They have, they have all of there's so much history that goes into the UFOs and stuff like that that people don't talk about, that we haven't been alone at all.
Well, it's because
Like,
the thing with that is like they didn't talk about it for so long because people were literally getting put into the loony bin, because back then it's like back in like the 20s and the 10s and stuff like that. Like you couldn't talk about shit like that because you'd end up like potentially getting a lobotomy because they'd be like, she is crazy or he is crazy.
I read a study that the people nowadays have the exact same amount of anxiety that the people back in like the 1950s had, that were going into insane asylums.
Mm-hmm.
Like our level of anxiety is the exact same. And I was like,
I don't doubt it. I don't doubt it. It's scary.
And I don't know how to word.
I don't know how to word.
I don't know how to word.
I don't understand like space, if that makes sense. Like in a way, like I do,
We
like I
like
get it, but like, huh?
We talk about the ocean though too, because like only not even a quarter of that has been discovered. Like there's still so
There's
much.
only like 14% of the entire ocean that's been
and
like
honestly
discovered.
though, like,
and I'm good on that. I'm good. I don't want to discover any of it.
Stuff down there that we probably don't want to know about.
Well, like, how do people say that there's no fucking? How do people say there's no fucking mermaids?
There is.
Or Loch Ness.
Jesse!
The random ship that went down, like not the ship, but like what was it? What is the name? It just happened not that long ago.
The Titan.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, Homeboy went down there with like.
Homeboy literally knew it wasn't safe.
Literally,
he said it wasn't.
But wasn't there article that came out after the fact that like it wasn't like it was? I don't know.
There's a guy on YouTube, and he was actually going to go on the like Titan thing, and he was like literally all set. They did everything. They did a test run, and the test run like didn't come back properly, so then he had to like go back home. And then that next ship was the ship that went out and then like fucking imploded.
Oh, so like
he posted it all over on his YouTube and stuff.
He's and crazy. He still got their money.
He did now.
Oh, I know, but like his company has his like team has their like they paid like $1.3 million a person to do that to go die.
Literally,
I thought it was like $5 million that they paid to go in it.
Way more.
It was way more than that for sure.
Yeah.
And that's crazy. That's
But, like,
crazy. That
why
is
do they even want to
insane.
go down there? And like, did you see like all the TikToks of people like going in those types of like things, like the same ones that they do, and like how they watch, and like I would not cram in there. How many people was like 6?
Because they have to seal you in there. I'm like, that is so. Ugh.
I would not be able to do
And
it.
it wasn't it like controlled by like a controller,
Like literally like a Nintendo 64 like controller.
Yeah.
Dead ass.
I had a Logitech controller.
Legit.
Yeah, didn't that shit like run off batteries or something?
You got it from Walmart. Like, come on.
Okay, moving on. Moving
Crazy
on.
people pay that kind of money for that.
Moving on.
No.
We can do a whole podcast on that submarine shit because we can deep dive into that. No pun intended. Anyways, number 3 is the O'Hare International Airport saucer in 2006. Flight 446. Yeah, that's how you say that. Flight 446 was getting ready to fly to North Carolina from Chicago's O'Hare International Airport when a United Airlines employee on the tarmac noticed a dark gray metallic craft hovering over gate C-17. That day, November 7th, 2006, a total of 12 United employees and a few witnesses outside the airport spotted the saucer-shaped craft around 4:15 p.m. The witnesses say it hovered for about 5 minutes before shooting upward, where it broke a hole in the clouds enough that pilots and mechanics could see the blue sky. The news report became the most read story in the Chicago Tribune's website to date and made international news. However, because of the UFO was not seen on radar, the FAA called it a weather phenomenon and declined to investigate.
Yeah, of
Lazy.
course. They knew.
Lazy.
Lazy.
Just say you don't want
That's
to do
like
your
the type
job.
of shit
That's fine.
you can't make up though. Like when you see something crazy, like you can't just make that up. Like, I mean, I guess you could, but like,
I think that airport though, like, has like a mural dedicated to that whole like phenomenon and everything. Like
Yeah,
that's
they
like
just didn't want to investigate further. I'm sure it was
yeah.
just like,
Yeah.
like they do with a lot of things.
mm-hmm.
They just push it deep down, like it didn't exist. This is fake. Didn't happen.
Well, it was
Y'all
just
lying.
they were trying to say that it was a drug bust, and it was in like California or something, and like people literally like they said it was a drug bust. Everybody left it like that, but there were so many like every police officer in California was there. Like SWAT was there, the military was there, like actual military trucks were there. Why was that a drug bust? A drug bust is a couple of cop cars and a lieutenant. Like you
Some
don't need
undercovers, if that.
exactly.
I mean, come on. Like, you know how many they have raided in Maine? Where has
Yeah,
our
but
military been?
for real. But they
Like,
were really saying like 4 or 5 different people had called seeing suspicious like 10-foot creatures in their area at that time. And then like in that same area was exactly where that one person like found like or they saw something in their backyard that landed like an actual craft that landed in their backyard. That was also another 10-foot creature as well. Like the actual officer had it on his body cam and like saw it and was like, "Whoa, we have to go over there. What's going on?" And now
yeah,
nobody's talking.
there's just some stuff that people just don't just see. Like,
Right. And like this is all alleged. Just so you know, government. But
allegedly.
right, you can't just hide everything. But I mean, like, it is what it is.
Well, that's the thing is like the government and like I'm not saying this as a confirmation, but like they try to hide so many things that people have seen with their own eyes, and they will do like there's literally like people that have gone missing because of the stuff that they've like accused of doing, you know?
But then there's also like all the documents and stuff that have came out that are open for the public. You know, like deep diving into those was insane. I'll tell you that much. They've done some spooky shit, but at least they're open about it now. You know, like a lot of people are okay with knowing the stuff that they didn't know before, I guess.
I mean, somewhat. There
So,
was like that's
yeah,
No,
just
that's
crazy.
the
Like
thing
there's some
though. It's
things that
like you see
that
people talking on things
whole,
or like talking about things and then they just like disappear or their like house catches on fire and they vanished or
I like the theories. I don't like to go deep diving into it because, like, the people that dedicate their lives to this, more power to you.
right. This is
But
like
I
the one
could,
podcast we're gonna talk about it.
yeah. But like, I couldn't dedicate my whole life to it. Like a
I know
video, or
because it's scary and stressful.
right.
Like I
It's also
couldn't do
one of
it.
those situations where even if something does happen and aliens do come to this planet, do you think we're gonna be able to do anything about it? Like,
No, so this is how I see that it's gonna happen. I mean, I feel like one, they're already here. They're already here. They keep an eye, and like in a way, I feel like aliens, quote unquote, aliens, or other beings. I feel like they are the ones that are supposed to guide this like this planet because I mean, like they probably have it all together on their planet or wherever they're from, other
like
universes, either
our
way.
ghetto.
What?
Our planet's just the ghetto. It's
Right.
fine.
Well, exactly. It's like when we like they've got to be just coming here to like see like, hey, what are they doing here? Like, why are things so crazy there? And I think that when they do decide to like show their true selves with us, I definitely feel like we're not gonna
Rogan.
know what to do. It's
This.
either they're gonna come in and it's either they're gonna come in and be like violent and just like boom, but I don't think that they will. I think that they're just gonna come in and like whenever they decide to show themselves to us or whatever, or like show that they really are here, that
I
I
think
think
eventually
that
they'll take over the blank.
yeah, I
The
think
blank.
you're correct.
Well,
I think that
the
that's the
blank.
type of energy
And
that's going to
and we'll
happen.
be
And it's not even
living
going to be a bad type of energy.
hopefully
It's just going to be
I
like, hey,
think I think and I hope that they come here and they take all the blank out and they become our blank, but we live like what's a good like movie reference? I don't
Rick and
know.
Morty.
Like yeah,
Future.
you would just live like a happy, calm, efficient like life, Like there's no more like
Right.
bad
No Men in
All
Black
I
shit. I don't want
struggling
no Men in Black.
and
I don't
it's
want
just
Men
gonna
in
be
Black.
like
Orville.
unicorns and rainbows.
Danielle, I can't hear you. You're cutting in and out because like y'all talking at the same time. What
Did
did
you
you say?
ever watch Orville?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I think of when I think of like what it's gonna be like when everybody like combines together.
I hope that they just like take over and everything's just like
I hope it's gonna be like
sunshine, unicorns, and
Futurama.
rainbows.
I don't hope it's like Futurama. I think like more of a like Rick and Morty and the Orville had a baby. Like that be like what?
I think no, I want it to be like Futurama.
Yeah, understand.
I think that's kind of what I want because like still with like Rick and Morty, like they go to other universes. Like it's not like they go on like to different types of the earth. They don't go to this earth where like they're all on the same thing. So I would want it to be more like Futurama because like they all live and they cohabitate together,
Yeah, I feel like
Well, to an
I don't
extent.
know.
For the most part. For the most
Yeah,
part they do.
that first little bit was a little tricky, but
I feel like this is like delusional, but like
this is
genuinely, if
delusional.
if they come around, I just hope that nothing will be like how it's been the whole time our country has been a country. If that makes sense. Like,
I
can we
think
all just live delusionally happy and like no worries, no cares in the world? Like, can we all just like basically turn into aliens and just have a party?
who's to say we're not aliens?
Yeah, who's to say we're not the aliens? Who's to say the rest of the universe isn't some other different species and we actually are the aliens and that's why the aliens want to check in on us because they're like, what's up with this weird fucking planet?
Yeah,
Right.
'cause what happened? This is not how the show's supposed to be run. They gonna come and check us. Oh, put us all back in our places or something. I don't know. I feel like
we don't know.
I think I've made this reference before, but like I think it's the movie called The Truman Show or whatever. But
Oh yeah.
I truly love that movie, and I think genuinely everyone has their own little world somewhere, and I want to be with aliens. I want to know what they're doing, what the mermaids are doing. Like, can't tell me this shit's not real.
Speaking of not real, do y'all believe in the first moon landing?
I want to say it just because of all the fucking memes. I don't know. I wasn't there. They didn't let me in that time, so I don't know.
I don't think it fucking happened.
I mean, genuinely,
I'm being so for
realistically,
real right now. I'm being so.
Like,
There's no way. Okay, here's my thing, and I'm gonna go on a quick little tangent, and then y'all can go on about your opinions. All right.
Lynn's like, I'm gonna tell you the facts, and you guys can just be wrong.
And I know there's many people that are gonna be like, she's a fucking idiot. I was about to say the other word that's gonna get me canceled, but no, there's just no way. Okay, so it was in 1969. They barely had full color on the TV. Okay, it was like there's just no way that they made it all the way to the. There's no way that they made it all the way to the moon before they had Wi-Fi. There's no way they made it all the way to the moon before they had like really good like luxurious airplanes. There's no way they made it to the moon before a flip phone came out. There's no way that they did it. There's no way that they could have possibly done that in 1969. There's no way that that when my mother was an infant, not even walking around yet, there's no way that they made it all the way to the moon. I'm sorry.
No way.
There's no way.
Okay. My mother is maybe, I don't know their age difference, but she's younger than your mother, and there's no way that my mother was still growing up and living in a fucking shack doing the hillbilly shit with but like there's no way that they were still living and growing up that way and like life was still like that, but people are walking around on the moon.
But okay, to be fair, Papa also made that decision. They tried to modernize him and it just didn't work.
Yeah, but neither all of them still weren't even modernized because it wasn't even modern back then. It was barely making it.
I only make this like have the suspicion because of how many times they failed. Like, you're telling me after almost like 100 failures to get to the moon, you got there before Germany, because that was supposed to be the whole thing back then. They were trying to get there before Germany, but it did state that technically Germany got there almost 2 years prior to America. Like,
but then again, why did they go to
fibbers.
the moon? Why were they going to the moon?
I know, like, who was the first person to be like, let me just go to the moon?
It was supposed to be just a different way to show like the evolution of each person's science. So like there was the war going on and everything was all crazy and everybody was like, we gotta get there.
Okay.
What are
on
they
July 20th, 1969, American astronauts Neil Armstrong and Edwin Buzz Aldrin. That's actually where the idea for Buzz Lightyear came along. Was Buzz Aldrin. Did you guys know that?
I did not.
I didn't know that until the Sterniola triplets told me that last Friday.
I don't know if it's true or not.
No, sure it is. I believe what they say.
For sure.
Became the first humans. See, humans. They had to say that. If aliens weren't real, then why would they just say humans?
Because they were sending pets.
To ever land on the moon. About 6.5 hours later, Armstrong became the first person to walk on the moon. Why did it take him so long to get out of the space carrier? It took him 6 hours to get out of there.
Suit it up.
As he took his first step, Armstrong famously said, "That's one small step for man, a giant leap for a liar."
You've been talking to your dad, huh?
Yeah, but not about that. Believe it or not. The Apollo 11 mission occurred 8 years after President John F. Kennedy announced a national goal of landing a man on the moon by the end of the 1960s.
Okay,
Apollo 17, the final manned moon mission took place in 1972.
okay, but I don't understand why they had to go to the moon.
It is
Why,
did it for shits and giggles.
why do they need to go on the moon? Why do they need to walk the moon? What's so special? Like, I'm not saying like what's so special about the moon, but what is if they can walk on the moon, why can't we all go walk on the moon?
Like it was just to get there.
Yeah, but why?
At the time, the United States was still trailing the Soviet Union in space developments, and the Cold War era America welcomed Kennedy's bold proposal in 1966 after 5 years of working by an international team of scientists and engineers. The National Astronautics. No, that's not at all what that word says.
I didn't think astronautics was a word.
She's making up her own words as she goes.
He's not dyslexic though.
Aeronautics.
Wow.
She's me when I read. I just make up the words.
Astronautics.
It's aeronautics. There's literally not even a fucking S in there until the end. Astronaut.
That shit is good.
Woo! Sheesh. And Space Administration, NASA. I could have just said NASA, god damn it. Conducted the first unmanned Apollo mission testing. See, how did they get no, I'm sorry. How did they get not only did they not have anybody on that damn space carrier, how did they have the technology to steer it all the way, attempting to get to the moon with nobody on it?
A game controller.
NASA, come on.
Clearly.
Tell me how, and maybe I'll believe it. But that just seems silly for this time period. Come on, they barely had color on their TV. Come on.
Come on.
Let's be real.
It's fake.
I don't understand it. Like, why did they need to go to the moon? When was the last time they went to the moon?
See, why have we not been back more often?
Literally,
If they did
if
it
you
so
can do
long ago. If we
No,
could,
no.
if we can get to the moon, and how many howevers it fucking takes to get there, if we can get there back in 1960 something, then what?
In how many howevers it takes to like
Listen, I don't know. Like back then in the 60s, then why can we not get there again?
They just
Or
bullshit.
if we can, why haven't we? Why don't
they already made another life up there?
everybody's trying to get to Mars now.
What's so special about Mars?
Mars could possibly be habitable.
You guys going there and showing up is gonna do what? Mars is gonna run into the moon, Earth. They're gonna come full force and crash into us. Leave them alone. Let them live their life.
I don't think that's how that works. It's not Mars. The sun will explode before anything.
We won't even know. We won't even know that. We're just gonna be dead.
Yeah. Or if the
How
moon
though?
falls into like, have you seen that? What's that? What's that? Is it Fallout or The Fall or something like that? Where the moon like literally crashes into Earth.
Fallout, isn't it?
I don't think it's Fallout. I think it's.
But how does it just fall?
Oh, it's literally called Moonfall. Literally. And like the moon just like whoop, like something with the atmosphere or whatever, and then it falls into us.
Oh, but don't we have gravity? So just pull your rocks back up and put them back together.
I don't know. John Mayer sings about it.
Wow.
Is working against me.
Yeah.
Okay. Then on January 27th, 1967, tragedy struck at the Kennedy Space Center in Cape Canaveral, Florida.
Right.
Somewhere in Florida, when a fire broke out during a manned launch pad test of the Apollo spacecraft. Damn, it's like that movie that Tom Hanks was in. 3 astronauts were killed in the fire. I didn't mean to laugh at that. I'm very sorry. R.I.P. to the astronauts.
You should have just not
R.I.P.
talked on it.
Whatever.
Moment of silence.
Despite the setback, NASA, not gonna try to fucking read that again, and its thousands of employees forged ahead, and in October of 1968, Apollo 7, the first manned Apollo. See, how did they do 7 missions before? Like, that was like 55 years ago. There's no way that they did 7 missions without anybody steering it. What's it gonna do? Go up and come down? You're not telling me that we had Bluetooth space carriers back 55
Before we
years
even had
ago.
Bluetooth.
Right, we didn't even have Bluetooth. Exactly. So you're not telling me that we had Bluetooth controlled space carriers that make it make sense, NASA. Make it make sense.
You know, I'm gonna send an email to NASA.
Weren't they like sending and they were sending animals up around that time?
What animals?
Well,
For
it's
what?
not in
What
this
were the
article.
animals gonna tell them?
They sent a dog, and I think a monkey went as well.
For what?
If I'm not mistaken, like look it up. I can't look it up, but
Hang on.
like
Let me finish reading this and then we'll see if it's in here somewhere. First manned mission orbited Earth and orbited Earth and successfully tested many of the sophisticated systems needed to conduct a moon journey and landing.
Oh, this is so sad. Okay, Lynn, when did they officially make it to the moon?
1967. No. I lied. When did it? When? 1969.
Okay, on November 3rd in 1957,
12 years prior.
Tank 2 blasted. No, why are we talking about Earth? Into Earth orbit with a dog.
Yeah, that's into.
Okay, NASA and other space agencies put animals in space long before humans, using monkeys and dogs and cats to figure out how many humans could survive leaving Earth.
That's why when it says first manned mission,
that's what I know, but what the fuck? Them animals.
So they sent dogs, cats, and monkeys to space to see if we could live.
To make sure that they wouldn't explode?
No, just to see what would happen prior to.
Okay, and what happened to those animals?
I don't think you want to look into that.
As well as the fruit flies.
Oh, fuck them fruit flies.
Since the 1940s, a variety of animals have been sent into space, including ants, cats, frogs, and even jellyfish.
Yeah.
A total of 32 monkeys have flown into space. Rocket scientists wanted to send dogs to space to better understand what launch, microgravity, and other aspects of space flight might do to a human body.
Yeah, but I think only one dog actually made it back, and a monkey actually made it back.
There's a movie about that, isn't it? There's a movie about that. I've seen it. I'll find it.
I'll see it. It's real.
Yeah, I've seen it. I've definitely seen the movie in school. But just like everything else I learned in school, it just escaped my brain.
No, literally, that's why we're doing this.
Why is it showing me Five Nights at Freddy's shit when I'm looking up about space? So just like how like products are like cruelty free, so I love how we try everything on fucking animals before us. Like that's depressing. You couldn't send a fucking deadbeat human up there to see if he'd blow up or live or what it would do to him. Because I got a few people you can send up there to try again.
In December of the same year, Apollo 8 took 3 astronauts to the far side of the moon and back. The far side of it, just stop in the middle of it. What you fucking mean, the far side of it?
No, we had to go on the other.
They could have
I
made
bet
it.
it's like a mile walk.
They could have made it if they
Be
hadn't
that
gone
big.
to the far side, bro. They missed their turn.
Had to go to the dark side.
Anyways, the moon and back, and in March 1969, Apollo 9 tested. Maybe which one was the bad one? One of them
Maybe.
exploded.
Keep reading.
Yeah, probably. That'd probably tell me. Apollo 9 tested the lunar module for the first time while in Earth orbit. That May, the 3 astronauts of Apollo 10 took the first complete Apollo spacecraft around the moon and in a dry run for the scheduled July landing mission. Timeline of the 1969 moon landing. At 9:32 a.m., the whole country decided that they were going to start lying their asses off and act like they weren't just in the studio. See, they say it there.
They said it right there.
I'll be right back. I
Right
gotta
from
go to
the
bathroom.
horse's mouth.
I gotta go. Yeah. Do you
Just
ever
like
feel like so disgusted with yourself, like you don't know what to do? Like you're like, "Ugh, shower won't work, sleeping doesn't work. You just like feel like with yourself.
yeah.
Yeah. I just kind of put a hat on, put a hoodie on, and sit there and just wallow in my own self-pity.
I think all of us have burped into the mics.
I just can't help it. At 9:32 a.m. on July 16th, with the world watching, Apollo 11 took off from the Kennedy Space Center with astronauts Neil Armstrong, Buzz Aldrin, and Michael Collins. That motherfucker never gets like noticed about anything aboard. Armstrong, a 38-year-old civilian research pilot, was the commander of the mission. That motherfucker got all of the credits. Traveling, sheesh.
Sorry, I'm.
You want to guess how many miles they traveled?
I thought it wasn't real.
Or so they say. You want to
A
know?
billion.
Huh?
A billion.
No, give a real guess.
6 million.
It's less than 1 million.
700,000.
What?
99.9.
99 miles.
Yep. Just about 50.
240,000 miles. And how long did it take them?
3
6
hours.
Which I find this is BS.
6 hours.
I find this BS.
24 hours.
76 hours, and they
To
travel
travel 200 miles.
240,000 miles in
Oh,
76 hours.
1,000. Whoa, I thought you meant 200. I was like, Lynn can do that in like an hour.
Yeah, literally.
Do that.
But 240,000 miles in 76 hours. Apollo 11 entered into a lunar orbit separated from the command module where Collins remained. Ooh. Why did it even by himself? 2 hours later, the Eagle began to descend to the lunar surface at 4:17 p.m. the craft touched down on the southwestern edge of the Sea of Tranquility. They making shit up.
We're just now discovering
Oh,
this.
Stuff up.
Armstrong immediately radioed to Mission Control in Houston, Texas, a now famous message: the Eagle has landed. Yeah, who in Hollywood came up with that one?
Okay, sure.
See, Forrest don't even believe it. He's just happy to be here. At 10:39 p.m., 5 hours ahead of the original schedule, Armstrong opened the hatch of the lunar module. As he made his way down the module's ladder, a television camera attached to the craft recorded his progress and beamed the signal back to Earth. If we could do all that, why did we not have like Wi-Fi back then? Excuse me.
Math ain't mathin'.
Excuse me. You tell me how a set of stairs can ascend and all of a sudden a fucking TV like the signal module will reach all the way back to Earth.
We must not be that far, as they claim.
There was a shadow.
Like,
isn't that the... Make it make sense, people.
How much money did
make
he
it make sense?
Role? See, I just think of it as like the theory standpoint. So like, I can't determine if it was real or not because we don't know.
I know.
You know?
I know that they are all fucking liars.
I think they're all
lying.
I think in my personal opinion, YouTube, don't cancel me. I think that in my personal opinion, yeah, it's a whole bunch of malarkey.
It's a whole bunch.
It's a whole bunch of malarkey.
Lynn's just a 90-year-old man sitting at home in his recliner. This is just AI.
What?
I said Lynn's just an 80-year-old man sitting in his recliner at home, and this is just AI.
No, literally, like I think that like that's the thing is I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but I definitely like I don't know. I'm not a big I don't try to think up conspiracy theories because it just freaks me out. But at the same time, like that kind of thing, it's like
it's just too weird.
I just really don't believe in it. It's just personal opinion. Just don't believe in it. Wait a second. No. No. Hang on. I gotta finish reading this real quick. Give me 1 second.
Oh, she found a loophole.
Ain't no way. No. At 10:56 p.m., as Armstrong stepped off the ladder and planted his foot on the moon's powdery surface, he spoke his famous quote, which he later contended was slightly garbled by his microphone and meant to be, "That's one small step for man, a giant leap for mankind." Aldrin joined him on the moon's surface 19 minutes later, and together they took photographs of the terrain, planted a U.S. flag, ran a few simple scientific tests, and spoke with President Richard Nixon via Houston. Tell me how they did that.
Via? That's text.
Oh, Shay.
Via text.
Via just means like per.
Per what? How did they get a hold of him?
I know, literally. How did they get? Yeah, exactly. How did they do it?
Via what?
By 1:11 a.m.
How did they communicate? A radio wasn't going to reach from the moon to Earth.
That's what I'm saying. The whole time. How did they literally broadcast on TV?
They had phones.
The telescope still at this time.
Telescopes don't talk.
They literally said it was a camera.
The telescope, the satellite.
They literally said a television camera attached to the craft recorded his process.
Okay, recorded it, but how was he talking to the president?
Let's be so for real here. By 1:11 a.m. on July 21st, both astronauts were back in the lunar module and the hatch was closed.
Yeah.
No. The two men slept that night on the surface of the moon, and at 1:54 p.m., the Eagle, so like 12 hours later, the Eagle began its ascent back to the command module. Among the items left on the surface of the moon was a plaque that read, "Here men from the planet Earth first set foot on the moon, July 1969, AD, we came in peace for all mankind." At 5:35 p.m., Armstrong and Aldrin successfully docked and rejoined Collins, and at 12:56 a.m. on July 22nd, Apollo 11 began its journey home, safely splashing down in the Pacific Ocean at 12:50 p.m. on July 24th.
They lying. They making up times and days.
I'm just like, it's a great story. Like, I mean, okay.
It's intriguing.
Okay. So say it happened. say it happened, like they just did in all of this. How many times did the US land on the moon? There would be 5 more successful lunar landing missions and 1 unplanned lunar swing by. The last men to walk on the moon, Oh, what? Okay.
I think it was the very first one that exploded.
Wait. See, this is where it gets a little fuzzy for me. Not saying for anybody else. If anybody wants to believe in it, they can believe in it. But I'm just saying this is where it gets a little fuzzy for me. The last men, it's 2024, mind you. We literally have cars that drive themselves. Let's be real. The last men to walk on the moon, astronauts Eugene Cernan and Harrison Schmitt of the Apollo 17 mission left the lunar surface on December 14th. Take a guess. Take a guess at what year?
2020.
Way before. 20. Way before.
2012.
1972.
Oh.
The Apollo program was a costly and labor-intensive endeavor involving an estimated 400,000 engineers, technicians, and scientists, and costing 24 billion, close to 100 billion in today's dollars. That the expense. Why was 1972 the last time we like stood on the earth? I mean, on the moon. Like, why have we not been back just for shits and giggles? If like,
because after getting to space, that's when everything else decided to come into play with science, like them trying to find, life on other planets and seeing how far they can go with the actual like stuff.
Right, but like 1972, like that was like 40 something years ago.
Yeah.
Like that's just a little crazy that was like the last time we stepped foot on the moon, but we were able to do it so like we could do so many more things like on the moon. Like if we went now, like we could literally get so many more like test samples and shit like that. Like there might be new stuff over there.
They don't
What if
want
somebody else has put a plaque?
I don't think so, because I think that was another theory with when the last, like, one of the, I know I saw like a documentary where when they went to like the other side of the moon where other people haven't inhabited or looked at and stuff like that, and they found a lot of more scary shit that they weren't expecting, right. And so I think that in a sense kind of deterred them from sticking to that one and just looking for other things. So like that's why they started looking at Mars and looking at other planets and stuff. Like there's also other almost universes out there too. Like there's fucking shit everywhere.
Right, but what I'm saying is like what if they go back and like they like what if like another planet has like put a plaque there, or what if like somebody else has like put a like little thing. Like it's just like those things that like if you haven't been back in so long, you don't know what's going on up there.
True.
Like to me, if like that was the case, if we were able to get there, like not necessarily so easily, because as I read, like the fucking $24 billion back then, but like it's so quote unquote easily. If we could get there in 1969, we could probably even get there faster now, and we could probably get there
stopping
safer.
Us now?
I know, like
we'll probably land a plane on that bitch.
I know, literally, like what's keeping us from there? Like, I mean, just to see what's up, check in on the bad boy. We love the moon.
Yeah,
I know exactly. We want to see how it's doing. So why don't we do that? Like, if we can, if we ever have. Let's be real. Yeah. But as I said, like all of this is just my opinion, and I'm not saying that it doesn't exist to anybody else. I'm not saying that it actually didn't happen. I'm just saying that that's just my opinion. My opinion.
Our thoughts, our opinions.
Yeah, my thoughts and opinions that used to get me in trouble in school all the time because I had that opinion.
This topic doesn't get talked about much because people are afraid to.
Right.
And it's fun to like actually branch out into like different topics and stuff, because like we could go on and on about all of this shit because of our own theories, and I know all I do is listen to fucking conspiracy theories. Like,
I know. I love conspiracy theories.
I usually stay away
No,
from
but
them
a lot
only
of
just
them
because it
now
freaks me
aren't
out.
even like they're not even just conspiracy theories because half of them are either patterns repeating itself or patterns that are going to continue to repeat
yeah,
itself. And
I
like
like
you'll
I
see
like
it coming.
I like to listen to certain conspiracy theories, like, and I have to say theories because that's what it is. It's not, nothing's proven yet. Like, I joke around whenever Trevor talks about the flat earthers and shit, but like, come on, like, it's just too much. Like, some people get so hard into it where they can't have these discussions that are fun, and then they get like so hell bent that like it didn't happen or nothing
I
is
made
right,
that mistake.
nothing wrong.
I made that mistake with a person once where I was kind of like laughing and joking and was like, what if we eventually find out like the earth that is actually flat? And they were like big into like science and history and they like rang my head out and I'm like, all right.
I did the exact same thing to Trevor, and he goes, "No,
Wasn't that serious?
but what if?" And he's like,
The fucking
People are
earth
just
is the
so
earth is round.
uptight.
Come on.
"Yeah,
But I think it's so funny messing with people that like are so diehard. Like they think most people are being serious. I'm like, most people are joking when they say that the
literally."
earth is
Well,
flat. Come on.
yeah. Well, it's just like with me with the whole like, oh, the whole shadow on the flag thing or whatever that they were talking about in the video, and it's like, who cares?
Yeah.
Like, there's a part of it that's just like, if it happened, it happened. If it didn't, it didn't. So what? Is it really
It's
gonna change you at the end of the day?
people are just take things so serious and are just like so uptight about things. It's
It's like,
just like, come on,
oh,
expand your brain, use your brain cells, expand your imagination.
right.
Like we're all taught as we're taught as kids.
I was
Yeah.
just kidding this whole time. I believe in the moon landing.
Right. We don't know what we don't even know what aliens are, dude.
We were taught like we were always taught as kids to like use your imagination. Like just use your imagination. And then when we do now, it's like the end of the fucking world.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. That's about it.
That
Come
was
back
a
to
really
us
good
when
flowing
aliens
podcast, guys.
Yeah,
come
we
back
did
to
pretty
us.
What?
I said come back to us when aliens appear and we figure out that they're actually aliens and they've been here the whole time and tell us that you were right. And we were right. Not you were right. We were right.
Yeah, we were
Oh,
right.
I almost lit this on fire. Fun.
Yeah. Oh,
But
we gotta like pause for like 5 seconds so I can do a thumbnail. Because if I was on my computer, it'll automatically like select a thumbnail. But let's pause for like 5 seconds how we want to do a thumbnail. Okay. All right, yeah, that'll be fine. Yeah. Anything else
yeah.
y'all want
No, not really. I think we covered pretty good
to
topics
add? We did
today.
it really well with that one.
Yeah.
We like covered all of like the same like sort of topics, and I mean it's just like space in a whole, space in
Right.
general, like covering
Right.
all the topics that involve space. And I had a lot of fun. I've literally been waiting to do this podcast since we started filming our podcast.
Yeah.
Like I've been waiting to do this one, but I wanted to make sure that like I
and I
had
mean
like all the things that I wanted to talk about.
we've dabbed into it a few times, but it was nice to sit down.
Right, but
and,
it
like,
needed
actually
its
talk.
whole glory. It needed an entire episode. All right, yeah. Okay, so that's been episode 10 of the Regardless of Everything podcast, because I know I didn't say I didn't say the name of the podcast in the beginning. So that was episode 10. And we're super excited. We're on our grind with YouTube right now, and we're back and we're manifesting all good things and no technical difficulties, and it'll be fine. Huh?
For the rest of the fucking year.
For the rest of the year, literally. We're only friggin' up from here. Like we ain't taking no more L's. We're gonna get all that good energy. We're gonna get all the positivity coming our way. And
yeah.
yeah. So that's been this. We'll see you later.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.